there is a rumor, and you can ask about specifics, I guess, and I'll tell you whether or not I can answer them. When you're talking about admissible evidence, that a police agency allowed for an individual to clean his hands. And it's my understanding that perhaps the source of that information came from someone in law enforcement who talked about that. Having looked at the evidence, and again, I'm limited to what I can say because it's not part of that record, but I do feel like that it's important to clear up that I have found no evidence whatever that that was allowed or intentionally allowed by any law enforcement officer. But that does not change, ultimately, the evidence that I'm left with. And the evidence I'm left with is I have to deal with what I have. And so, as one might imagine, without being allowed to, the police officers did not arrive there as soon as this happened. And all I can tell you is that there is no evidence that would support, that I found, that suggests that a law enforcement agent knew of, allowed that to happen. Yes?
It's stated directly in the police report, in the state police records, actually, that they did allow him to wash his hands. And in the separate Carbondale records, the first officer on the scene allows him to go to the restroom. I mean, is this standard procedure when a body is found?
Well, a lot of that depends on the circumstances of the case, too. I mean, I don't...
A gunshot wound?
I understand. Again, I can't go into the specifics of it, but when, for instance, there is not a contest about whether or not the individual may have touched somebody, if he has been permitted to wash his hands, then I don't know really that that would have much of a bearing, because we would know that there was blood on it anyway. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but what we deal with is the evidence that we have. It's my understanding that he did wash his hands, and my understanding of the reports are that that was not allowed by the police officers, but that he did actually do it.
It is in one concise sentence that they allowed him to go to the bathroom and wash his hands before going to the police station that morning.
I wasn't really familiar with that. Regardless, it would not have changed anything in my decision about whether or not the police department was intentionally or corruptly handling the matter, when there just really is not any issue about whether or not he handled the body or whether or not he was present. So
I don't even think it has to be a matter of corruption or accusing of that. I mean, do any one of us in here get to have that same latitude if a gunshot victim is found in our apartment?
Well, again,
did Carbondale police respond to this the way they should have?
That's a call on the part of the police department. And I guess my comment is that regardless of this report, I found nothing in that report that indicated that there was an intentional, I guess a better way to put it, an intent to hide evidence by allowing somebody to wash their hands. And again, well, I don't want to go into too much detail. If, in fact, that it does not appear to be a question, and somebody has handled the body, which is my understanding occurred, then I don't attach some negative connotation to that action, and I have found none.